Hey, how you guys doing? Ivy X. Yeah, I got some cool stuff to show you. Um, yeah, basically some improved versions of my elevator based upon subscriber requests. Um, so I'm gonna just go through the main subscriber requests. Is one, to make it more simpler, two, to make it a little bit more friendly, survival friendly, and to also be able to make the size of the floor less than 10. So that one's at 6, which is the smallest I could possibly make it. Um, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at them. So this one's on high speed. The one in the middle is on the slowest speed for survival friendly, and then that one's on high speed. So what I did basically is I found, well, I didn't find, but I've known about it for a while, and that is this, it's either a dispenser flop or a hopper flop. I like hopper flop better, but there actually is more I'm sorry, droppers. It's a dropper flop. So power on, power off, and no updating around it, which is good. So that makes it perfect to squeeze into the circuit that I already have. So this is version 5 that I just swapped out everything with a hopper flop. And so to make it simpler, as requested, instead of the first floor being at an odd number, now it's 10, 20, 30, and then you add on 5 more blocks and you got 35 exactly, which would make it really easy to check your floor spacings. So the total width in between each floor is 9. So yeah, really easy. Of course, this one has instant extension, instant retraction. We're going to look at some of the things that using a hopper flop does for us. That is, basically, this wall is no longer 5 wide, it's now 4, which makes it a lot smaller. And so yeah, we just need to test it. So I have it at high speed, which I will say is not, you can use it on servers on high speed, but it's not really as reliable as on slow speed. It's also not realistic, meaning that I actually looked online to see what's the fastest an elevator would actually travel, and that's 2 Gs. That is the equivalent of traveling upwards at 3 miles an hour. And that's a high speed elevator, so anything faster than that would probably make you sick. But anyway, that's besides the point. This is Minecraft, not, a real elevator. So obviously we're traveling at the highest that this elevator can travel. So this will work on a server. I've tested it, that speed. And you can see that it had a nice smooth takeoff just like the other one. And it has all the same features, instant extension, instant retraction. If you're interested in that one, all this is I switched out the monostables. Alright, so now that we've looked at this one, so main reason for me switching to hopper flops, which are actually more expensive than the 6 monostables, because it's 6 pieces of iron to make those monostables, but it also costs you 6 pieces of slime as well. So using the hoppers is definitely an alternative, but frame rate is what I'm really talking about saving, which means you could make a bigger version of this because it's not dropping your frame rate as much. Of course, the pistons extending do. So I wanted to show you guys some features about this particular elevator. This one's on multiplayer friendly. It works 100%. I've actually never been kicked out of it. I've never even gotten stuck, even in the worst lag spikes, just because it's so slow. It's actually the equivalent of a real elevator. It's traveling, you're traveling at like maybe a mile to 2 miles an hour, which seems, kind of defeats an elevator's purpose, but the reliability that you gain from it, you can't beat it. So I'm going to go ahead and send it down for a reset. And I'm just going to show you that I'm working on another kind of circuit for this because there's so much room, which we'll see at the end. But this is how long it takes to call it up to you. So if I add on another circuit to increase this time, I basically am using a, instant extension, except for it wouldn't be instant, it would just be about that fast. So to save material, this is as fast as I would, I'm going to make this particular elevator, which is version 7. So that's as fast as it can go be called up. Not without adding in another button, which means why not just use that one? And then there's no waiting. So this same circuit I was able to use and to make it at the smallest setting. Now the instant extension, instant retraction elevator cannot be made any smaller than that. The inputs, there's too many inputs going into the actual control panel to actually decrease it more than 10 blocks. So if you wanted to decrease the size and make it, for instance, maybe a 4-story house or a 3-story house, 6 is the minimum space that I'd recommend trying to make this. So I put this one on high speed. I'm not even going to activate the floors, but so I got the up and down from, and it being 10 block spacing kind of sorted out, but it still does randomly get glitchy, especially on the higher speed. But as you can see, I do have it working. So it's the same amount of time as that one, except for there's less pistons. So we've got the same elevator as over there, except for it has the same amount of stops, but it's 3/4 the size of the original. So now we're just going to go ahead and look at the redstone. So first thing you're going to notice about this is that there's no yellow circuit. I also didn't make any attempts to compact this, which I will if people say, yeah, I really want version 8, I'll compact it as much as possible and try and keep it simple as well. So as far as circuitry on this, there's actually 5 circuits. That's not including the up and down green, red, and blue that would add it on. So, but it's still about 12 circuits altogether. Really simple, and everything's straight. No up and down and things traveling up and over each other. Same with this one. Same amount of circuits, just a lot more room in it, as you can see. So by using this without the yellow and light blue circuit, I had to add on another circuit onto this, which is this. This is just basically a reverse pulse lengthener. Basically, it makes this piston retract, giving you a quick retraction, and then it does the opposite, giving you an extended extension, which is actually not possible before those, before hoppers. So you're talking per floor adding in 5 hoppers in total, which is expensive in iron, seriously. But if anybody's smart and knows how to make iron golem farms and things, I know I could make this on survival, no problem. The sticky pistons still do get quite expensive here. I do have an alternative that's a little bit slower, but it requires about 10 repeaters instead of having these pistons, and you don't need blocks of redstone. There's alternatives to make this even more survival friendly, but I still think it's out of the grasp of getting it to be survival friendly. I made this mainly for hotels and just to show, because it's something I spent a lot of time on. So here's the newer circuit, and you can see that I did the same thing. I made everything flat. Everything's on the same level, so the up and down and everything's all within a 3-block radius, and it's not like one thing's going over another and all that. So yeah, I managed to shrink this down quite a bit. Got rid of anything that's not completely necessary. Fixed all orientational problems. And I even fixed this block update, which if you have redstone on top of this piston, it will cause it to randomly update. So, putting a repeater there, just powering it and it by itself on a 1 tick delay makes this thing perfect. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I did want to say in the next probably 3 days I'm going to be releasing version 2 of the secret waterfall entrance that I did. It's basically a hybrid CMB Batcave. And I made it simpler, smaller, more compact. It's actually 1 box smaller than CMB's original. So yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, so thanks for watching, you guys, and have a good one. Later.